So you want to become a data analyst, but you're looking at today's market and thinking, how do I even get my foot in the door? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to break down a super clear step-by-step plan that's based on years of real-world experience. This is all about how to get hired even if you're starting from absolute zero. Let's jump in. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's that classic super frustrating catch-22 that so many people get stuck in. Companies are all asking for experience, but how in the world are you supposed to get any if no one will give you that first shot? It feels like a total dead end, right?
And here's the hard truth of the matter. The game has completely changed. Just taking a bunch of online courses, whipping up a resume, and blasting it out to hundreds of companies, that old way of doing things just doesn't cut it anymore. The market is too competitive.
That's the big question, isn't it? And that's exactly what we're going to solve today. The whole plan we're about to walk through comes from an expert with 17 years in the trenches, leading data projects at huge companies like Mercedes-Benz. This is someone who has interviewed hundreds of candidates, and he knows exactly what makes a person hireable, degree or not. So we need a new approach. The new name of the game is proof. It's not about what you say you can do on a piece of paper, it's about what you can actually prove you can do. This whole strategy is built around one simple idea: giving a company undeniable proof that you have the skills and, just as important, the mind of a data analyst. Let's be really clear about this. You have to create actual, tangible evidence of your skills. We're not just talking about a list of software on your resume. We're talking about showing your whole thought process, how you attack a problem, how you dig for insights. That is what hiring managers are starving to see. Okay, so here's the whole journey, from start to finish. We all start at point zero, right? No knowledge, no experience. From there, we learn the skills, and then we build projects. But you see that point right there, start applying? That's the big turning point. That's what divides this entire path into two very different phases. Think of it like this. Phase 1 is you building your foundation, like laying one brick at a time. It's all sequential. You focus on one task, finish it, and then move to the next. But once you hit phase 2 and start applying, everything changes. The work becomes parallel. You're juggling multiple things at once, applying for jobs while you're also leveling up your skills and projects at the same time. All right, let's dive deep into phase 1. This is your prep stage. These are the steps you have to complete before you even think about sending out a single application. This is where you build the assets that are going to make you stand out from that huge pile of resumes. Phase 1 has 4 simple sequential steps. You start by learning the must-have skills. Then, you use those skills to build 2 very specific kinds of projects. After that, you put those projects into a simple portfolio. And finally, you wrap it all up into a profile that screams, "Hire me." See? One step at a time. Now, the key here is to focus. Don't try to learn everything at once. You just need these 3 core tools. Excel. It's the language of business. SQL, that's how you're going to talk to the company's databases. And a data viz tool like Power BI or Tableau, that's how you're going to turn boring data into stories that people can actually understand. And once you've got a handle on those 3 skills, boom, you've hit your first major milestone. You can now look someone in the eye and confidently say, "I know how to work with data." That is a huge first step. Okay, next up, projects. This is where the magic happens. First, you're going to use SQL to do what's called exploratory data analysis. It's basically being a detective. You dig into a dataset to find clues and answer real business questions. Second, you'll build a dashboard in Power BI or Tableau to track something real, like sales data. This shows you can not only find the answers, but also present them clearly. And this gets to the whole point of the projects. It's not just about proving you can click the right buttons. It's about proving you can think like an analyst. When you start wrestling with real business problems using data, you develop that critical mindset, and that is what separates you from everyone else. This becomes the second and much more powerful piece of your proof. And hey, don't just take it from me. This is straight from the source, from someone who actually does the hiring. Certificates are fine. They might get you past a computer filter, but when you're sitting in that interview, what they really want to talk about are your projects. They want to hear how you think. Your projects tell that story. All right, you've built your foundation. You've got your proof. Now it's time to enter phase 2, the active job hunt. We're calling this the parallel grind because you'll be applying for jobs while you continue to get better every single day. It's all about building momentum. But before we go any further, let's have a real talk about expectations. You are going to face rejection. It's just part of the process. The expert this is all based on, it took him around 100 applications to land his second data job, and he already had experience. So please, don't get discouraged. It's not personal, it's a numbers game, and the key is to stay focused and keep improving. So while you're in this application grind, where should your time and energy go? Well, here's the breakdown. A full half of your time, 50%, should still be spent working on and improving your projects. Another 30% goes to learning new skills, and only the last 20% is for the actual act of applying and tweaking your resume. Let's make that more concrete. For that 50% on projects, maybe you add a new feature to your dashboard or start a completely new project. For that 30% on skills, you could go deeper into SQL, or maybe start learning the basics of Python, or even new AI skills like prompt engineering to really stand out. And that final 20%, that's all about quality over quantity, customizing every single application for the job you want. Now, if you do all this, you will land interviews. And when you get there, the secret to acing it isn't about passing some test, it's about being a great storyteller. You need to be able to confidently walk that interviewer through your work and your thought process. And here's a super simple 4-part framework for telling that story. Start with the problem. What were you trying to figure out? Then mention the tools you used. Now the third step is the most important one, your process. Don't just say what you did, explain why you did it. This is your chance to let them see how your brain works. And finally, wrap up with the results. What did you discover?
As you're telling this story, you need to project 2 key things. The first is pure confidence. I know it's easy to be nervous, but you have to remember, you are the world's leading expert on this project. You built it. You know every little detail. So talk about it with some passion, like you're telling a friend about something you're really proud of.
The second quality is ownership. When you explain your project like you own it, from start to finish, you're sending a powerful message to that interviewer. You're saying, you can trust me with a problem. I will see it through to the end. And that is exactly the kind of person every manager wants to hire. Okay, so we have covered the entire roadmap, from knowing absolutely nothing all the way to acing the interview. Let's just bring it all home and recap the most important things to remember.
So here's what I really want you to walk away with. First, you absolutely can do this starting from scratch. You do not need a degree. Second, to get noticed, you have to provide proof of your skills with real projects. Third, this is all about constant, focused improvement. You can't just sit back and wait. And finally, and this is the most important one, this path works. It's proven. It is totally 100% doable.
So now you have the plan. The whole roadmap is laid out for you step by step. The only thing left is for you to start. So the real question isn't whether it's possible, it is. The question is, what's that first small step you're going to take today to get moving on your journey?